All right, great evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Thought Candy Podcast. I'm your boy, Mr. Millionaire Mindset.
It's Philly in the building, What's good? What's happening?
Oh man, yeah, he acting bad tonight. Got them Eagles flying
Yes, sir.
high and doing their thing, and as you'll
I'm gonna keep.
see amidst the panel, we're gonna try to keep it civil tonight, y'all. But
Yes,
we
sir.
we got some Frisco fans in the house. We got some Eagle fans in the house. I'm in Diego, but I'm a Chi-Town boy to
No,
the
I,
heart. So
I I see
I
that
got the ball
Chicago.
bear
I
out
see that
there.
Chicago bear though. I see that bear.
You
I
know what
see
I
that
mean?
bear on your shirt.
Yeah, I
I know
gotta
you be
throw it
repping
out there.
Chicago.
Yeah, I be
I know you
repping
be
my
repping.
shine. I'm up for the seat. You know what I mean? It's all good. The go. We appreciate you guys coming in tonight. We always come with the intention to motivate, inspire, and educate anybody that's watching this podcast. I always thank my guests that come on, and in 23, man, we doing it a little different. We're getting new faces in new places, and we got a special one for y'all tonight. This one is a little deep to the heart, man, because it's rocking America. It's rocking the Black community. The unfortunate part is it's happening in a negative way, y'all.
Yeah.
And so tonight we want to discuss. I'm gonna turn my phone down. I'm sorry, you guys. Do the same if you happen to be off mute. Make sure your phones are silenced. We want to discuss the situation down in Memphis, man, and those 5 officers that caused the untimely death of Mr. Tyre Nichols. This is a topic, a hot topic. Unfortunately, we are the center. We, meaning us as Black people in the Black community, because a lot of people can point fingers now and say, yeah, see, look, but we've been going through this for so many decades, and it was other officers of a different race on the other end and causing, but now it's us killing each other, basically, law enforcement included, not just on the streets. So we want to jump into the topic. I'm gonna open it up, and I'll just let y'all know I got a special surprise that some of our normal panel didn't even know. And I got my girl Tanya Bolton Smith on, and I got my boy Mike Brooks, and they live in Memphis, y'all. So we getting live testimony as to the temperature of the place out there, and just getting a feel for how they feel about it. So I want to just open it up to whoever wants to come in and speak their piece on how they feel about this situation.
Well, good evening, everybody. I want to thank Sean for allowing me to come on. Um, it's
Absolutely.
it's we're numb. Memphis has been rocked. To know that people that we trust to protect us and serve us are the people that is hurting and harming and killing us. And to know that it's black on black crime in our law enforcement, we are rocked to the core. There's no answers. We don't know how to feel. We don't know how to mourn. My feelings to have a nephew, 19, that's college. He's in college. It could have been him. It could have been my sister friends. They have sons. They have men, children, and it could have been them. And we just can't make sense of how 5 law enforcers that promised us that they would take care of us, that they will protect us, could beat a man like a pinata for no justifying reason. We're numb. The city is so quiet that you can hear a pin drop. And it's like my feelings, I am so mortified that my feelings are stuck in like it's stuck in a portal. I don't know how to grieve. I want to cry. I want to scream. I want to be mad. But my feelings is just stuck. So Memphis right now, we're numb. We are so numb to the point we don't know what to feel. We don't know what to feel. You hear it about all across the world, but we made world news and it wasn't in light of. It's a darkness over Memphis right now. So right now we're numb. We're numb. We don't have any answers. We don't know why they did it. We don't know what could have been so detrimental that they would want to do it. And at some point in your, at a moment, at an inkling of a moment, you would say, hey, this is enough. But it wasn't enough for them. So we're numb right now. We're numb. We're numb.
Well, Tanya, but Tanya and Mike, you guys, let me chime in right quick. Can you tell us just a little bit? I mean, if you know, and I'm pretty sure you do, you guys actually, in Memphis, what actually kind of transpired for it to get to that? I mean, was it a basic traffic stop? Was he just walking home? I mean, can you, kind of preface this a little bit as the listeners are listening to those that probably don't know what we're talking about when it comes to what happened in Memphis?
Basically, there's a lot of different stories, so we really don't know. One story was the fact that it was just a stop, a routine stop. Another story that he was DUI, and the mom said he doesn't even drink. He don't drink. So how can you stop someone for DUI and they don't even drink?
Was he driving? Was he?
Yeah, he was driving, and they said they pulled him over for DUI, but this young man does not drink. So how are you pulling me over for DUI and I don't drink? I don't allow liquor to come to my lips. You have another scenario that he was sleeping with somebody's wife, but the people that beat him, that was not their wife. So they was doing dirty work for somebody else. So we have so many scenarios and we don't even know the truth. And they said they got him because he started running. But they said when they pulled him over, he asked, what did I do? They literally just pulled him out of the car and they beat him. They beat him. And he was like, I guess he was just dumbfounded. Why me? And they beat him. They beat him like a piñata. So even with a body cam, they didn't see the eye in the sky. They forgot about the eye in the sky. And then for paramedics to come on the scene and not assist him, they turned their back on him.
Oh, wow.
They turned their back.
Let me go ahead, AC. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
To the best of my knowledge, the reason for the original stop was that he was supposed to be driving recklessly in accordance to what the police chief has said, and that was found not to be true because they went back and looked at the video footage from him driving around.
Exactly.
I think it was just an unfortunate incident where they just chose him.
Right.
They had no legit reason to stop him. They had no legitimate reason to beat him, and they just acted cowardly.
Yeah.
And they did what people who are supposed to protect you.
They did the opposite. They did the opposite.
Right. One would think, in light of what recently happened with George Floyd, where you have officers who's been on the force for only a few days, somebody would have stopped him and said something, or would have stopped some of these officers, but they went rogue. And as far as I'm concerned, whatever punishment is going to be dealt out, I don't know if it'll be enough, but they should suffer somewhere along the same lines of the acts that he suffered.
Yeah.
All right. But also, let me say that those officers are not officers that normally go around and do traffic stops anyway. They are a crime prevention group. So there was really no reason for them to even, to do it.
Exactly.
I mean, but I guess if any officer, well, I guess it doesn't matter what officer tactic group you're part of, but if you supposedly see someone driving recklessly, which they accuse him of doing, but there was no proof. Like she said, the first video on the scene was there was a Caucasian officer pulling up, and it was using from his body cam. And when he pulled up, he got out with weapon drawn. And by that time, another African-American officer was snatching him out of the car. And it was all this vulgar language going back and forth. And the guy was like, what did I do? And they had him pinned to the ground, and the Caucasian officer was about to tase him. Well, he did tase him. By that time, the other officers released because they didn't want to be hit by the charge. And that's when he got up and ran about half a mile before they caught up with him again.
Yeah.
He ran about half a mile. And that's when she said, that's when they proceeded to just go ham on him. They pepper sprayed him, but another guy actually pepper sprayed his, somebody got hit, what was it called? Friendly fire?
Yeah.
Another officer. So that officer got mad, like the guy actually pepper sprayed him, but it was his own partner. And so he pulled out the nightstick or whatever they have, the baton. And that, but look at Tanya, look, the eye in the sky, look at that camera footage and see those guys, his neck, the guy head just going side to side like that was just, it was
and
hard.
They
it was hard.
as they was beating him, they was just pounding him, and every time he would kind of sling over, they was pulling him up and they was beating him, and he was like, I can't breathe. And mind you, they pepper sprayed him in his eyes, it got in his nose, it got into his system. He can't breathe. He's scared. They're beating him and he can't breathe. So just imagine just feeling suffocated because there's no outlet. You have no outlet. You're beating me. I can't breathe. I'm in pain. I'm suffocating.
You're fighting for
and
your
all
life.
Because of what?
Yeah.
And in his mind, it's like, what did I do? And he called for his mom because he was like a couple of houses away from his house.
Oh, wow.
He was hoping that somebody would have heard him. He was screaming enough to his point where he was hoping if I call out to my mama, somebody will hear me in my house.
Yeah. James, militant Christian, come on in, sir.
To be. Go ahead.
Did he? I just got one quick question with everything I heard. Did he have any weapon on him at all?
No.
When you think about, listen, nothing. When you listen to the people that knew him, like he worked for Federal Express. He worked beside his stepfather. The owner, Fred, he is so distraught that he feels like that he's going to need counseling because that was one of his best employees. There was nothing bad. He was a person that was to himself. He liked to skateboard. He was just a simple Black man that didn't ask for much, was never in trouble, don't have a record. And you can't tell us why you stopped him. He don't drink. He was just driving. They said he slept with somebody's wife, but what else? So what? That ain't nothing new. People doing that every day. So
I think that was mostly rumor. I think that was basically just rumors. There's no. Yeah, I think that was just rumors. People.
It was initiation. They was doing it for initiation. And one of the guys that was
hold on, you said initiation. Tanya, you said initiation. What do you mean? Can you elaborate?
Because
what initiation?
They're in some type of Scorpio unit.
Scorpion unit.
And I think these officers was fairly new. One of the guys, so now they said that the chief police should be accountable for that because she knew that one of the officers had a behavior issue because he was reported, he was beating people when he was working for the correctional center. So they had reports on him being so, aggressive and so mean and so angry. And she hired him onto the force.
See, there's no accountability. That's what I don't like about this is there's no accountability. Let's flip it around. If the Black man was wrong, there would be accountability for any damn thing. For anything he did wrong. Period.
You speak freely, brother. It ain't no excuse me. Speak your piece.
Okay. In this country, and I fought for this country. In this country, sooner or later, they're gonna have to realize the importance of every man, including the Black man. There's no accountability for killing black men. There hasn't been for a long time. There needs to be.
There's no accountability.
Right. If the black man, and now we got black officers. Look, KRS-One, East Coast Boogie Down Productions, he said, talking about the police, if you protect us, who protects us from you?
Yeah.
Right. Absolutely.
Accountability, and no matter what I'll make it quick. There needs to be accountability, period. We as people can force the accountability without any violence, but there needs to be accountability. This has to stop.
It is. But the thing about it is we're living in those times. It's
Right.
not going to stop. We ain't seen nothing yet. This ain't nothing compared to what is going to happen on down the road. And I think what baffles me as a Memphian, and I'm baffled. I have feelings that are just stuck inside of me emotionally that I cannot express because I'm so confused. When you think about just them, at any point did you think about that if I do this, I lose my freedom? If I do this, my children will not have a father to help raise them. My counterparts will be single parents. What about the parents that invested so much into them to be great parents so they can be great children, so they can be great men and leaders? I know they are embarrassed. They ashamed.
Yeah.
Then
Yeah,
you
let me
put the
try.
whole law enforcement system in jeopardy because now we don't see cops as being good people.
Yeah. I mean, it's been a long time since that's been the case, but I'm gonna tell y'all personally, it took me back to the whole Rodney King thing. I mean, even prior to, Philando Castile and George Floyd and some of these other the little young kid in Atlanta. I mean, it just
Mike Brown,
brought all of that
all
back.
that, yeah.
Mike Brown, exactly. It brought all of that back, right? But I'm looking at the Rodney King incident here, right?
Yeah.
And what we went through and what we felt. Huh?
Let me correct you on one thing. Rodney King lived.
Okay.
Oh,
that was
true.
right. And he was the only one. But here's the thing. I wanna know
This person did.
how these no, he died 3 days later.
yeah,
I didn't know
dog.
the person we
In the hospital.
didn't know that.
Tyre Nichols. Yeah. So he
Okay.
it happened on the 7th. He died on the 10th from complications due to that beating. Now, here's the thing.
Yeah.
I'm upset for several different reasons, but the main reason is that it was somebody that looked like us. And on top of that, they're probably going to be prosecuted different than these white officers that have done the same thing to us.
Most definitely.
There's no level playing field as far as how these folks are being prosecuted. And those brothers deserve what they get. But the unfortunate part is that an officer of another race will have to they won't go through the same type of process and judgment.
It was other officers. It was like two of them, two white officers. They allowed them to go ahead and to resign.
They're going to leave or something?
Oh,
they
it
resigned?
were two officers on the scene?
Yeah, two white
There were
officers.
2 more to the 5 that were on the scene as well.
They
So
allowed
these
them.
other ones got fired.
Yeah, they allowed them to resign.
They allowed the other 2 white officers to resign, but these other brothers were fired and are being charged with the crimes.
Yeah.
To me, everybody should have been accountable that was present, right?
Yeah.
Did the white officers leave, or did they stay there when all of this was happening?
It was to my knowledge, and don't quote it.
They were at a different location. They stayed where the vehicle was.
Okay.
Yeah, they stayed back where the initial stop stayed. I mean, what happened? So, the black officers went in pursuit.
They weren't there for the the beating of Tyre. They weren't there for that. The white officers.
Correct.
They weren't there for killing.
Yeah, they knew about it. They knew about it.
And
they didn't do anything right.
Crosby, AC
Hold
trying
on.
to say something.
What was AC
trying to say
saying?
something. Yeah.
We say AC?
I said, according to his mother, he was actually killed that night. They just kept
Yeah.
him on life support and everything, so that, things could be seen and worked out. But let's get one thing understood. This ain't the first time something like this has happened of officers of color. Unfortunately, with Eye in the Sky, which was that camera at the top, because they was covering their camera. But we've all know, being from a lot of these places in the inner city, that these are not the first bad black officers you'll run into. And a lot of times it has nothing to do with the color of the skin of the officer. It's that code blue that causes a lot of this here to continue. And that implied immunity, which they tend to get, speaking on what the gentleman said earlier, having full accountability for your actions when you do something negative and wrong. I do agree completely. But let's like I said, we've seen bad officers in the inner cities, and they were of color.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
We all know, and which is sad, because I would have much rather they shot him, which would have got it over quickly, than for them to just beat him like they did
and allow him to be in agony, to be in agony and pain.
Yeah.
And
say one more
what I
thing.
gather.
Listen, even in the military, and I'm saying this for those who have or have not been in, you are held accountable. You really are. So when I say that, even if we can't hold them accountable, I'm saying somebody do. You see this, we see this. And with social media now, it's even worse. So I'm saying, I want to talk about it. I want to express myself, but I seriously want to do something about it. I'm tired. And
weren't there isn't it some type of code or something for these? I was talking to a gentleman about it at work yesterday, and they said it's some type of code that they have. They're the brothers of Memphis that wear the blue. They're called some type of boys. And I forgot what I heard when I was talking to the gentleman, but it's a group that they call themselves.
Yes.
I'm not familiar with that.
They're called the Scorpions.
The Scorpion unit, yeah.
Well, that Scorpion unit. Yeah. That Scorpion unit. Go ahead, AC.
Give me 1 second to tell you what the Scorpion stands for.
Go ahead, Mike. What were you saying?
Okay. Yeah, that Scorpion unit, like you said, it's a group, or it's a department that's supposed to be on crime prevention. And what they do, they rotate officers through that group like every 8 months or so, to so they can be decompressed from so much stress and everything the department has. Now I heard also the the chief also created that unit like that in Atlanta, where she was, but she was fired in Atlanta before she came here. I don't know that. That's what I hear through social media. I hadn't fact checked that myself, and I was like, well, now it's been disbanded, because of this and so much other pressure. But I don't know if it's just a unit they just put out there, like I said, they ride around in unmarked cars, they're in uniform, but I don't know what their main purpose is. Evidently it's not to do traffic stops, but it don't matter. They're gonna do it anyway. It's funny because when those guys put on those uniforms, they become the most heroic, baddest guys in the city because they got the whole justice system bagging them. They feel like they can whoop anybody, but you catch them in their front yard or at the ballpark by themselves, they're gonna run. But let them go put that blue suit on. He got 20,000 brothers are gonna bag him regardless of the situation. You know what I'm saying? And like Tyre was saying, when the paramedics arrived, you're looking at, and I think the thing was the paramedics when they got there, because I think they called for assistance so late, it was like 28 minutes or something like that. The paramedics, I think the thing we went through their head was like, man, what you want us to do? This dude is dead.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Because when they kept asking him to set up, he kept falling to his left, set up. You know what I'm saying? He was lifeless. You know what I'm saying?
Done.
Yeah. So, but they all had to get their story in line. So those paramedic people were suspended. Because
we
I
had
guess,
some.
you know,
We have some officers that's on the fire department that has been suspended. We have two sheriffs that has been suspended because they was on the scene and there was no reason for them to be on the scene. And so the captain of the sheriff department is investigating that because he wants to know why was they on the scene when they was not called on the scene.
Yeah.
And I think by the time they arrived on scene, I think it was probably about 12 other cops there by then. So it was just, you know, when you show the footage of the body cam of the officers walking around and saying, you know, he had to be hot. He reached for my weapon. He took a swung at Officer Bean over there, which you never saw any of that stuff because he wasn't in defense mode. He was in survival mode the whole time, running.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Screaming.
Running.
His hands were bound, so he couldn't prevent any, you know, hits or anything. So how could he take a chance, try to pull a gun or whatever? You know, the guy was what 140, 149, 150 pounds?
Like 140 pounds, something like that. Yeah.
So,
How old was the gentleman?
29.
29.
Yeah, 29. So
literally,
not that makes a difference.
Somebody's child.
Yeah. It's just the fact that it happened. It's just the fact that it happened. It doesn't matter what age he is.
The acronym stands for Street Crimes Operation to Restore Peace in Our Neighborhood. That's what
peace, huh? Peace.
Ain't that something?
Okay.
Yeah.
Big Mike, you can have that one. Go ahead.
But I'm gonna tell you, but you know, scorpion is a deadly.
The venomous. Yeah, come on.
Thank you. That's what somebody said. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, you know, you had to cut the tail off a scorpion if you want to survive around it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Scorpion, you know, that's
when
a
they
bad
strike,
acronym.
that's
a bad acronym.
That's death. But here's the thing: if that police chief was responsible in any way for this unit, she gonna have to cover her own ass at this point. And them boys are gonna have to go down and suffer the brunt of what happened, whether she's responsible
well, she jumped
or
out
not,
in front
right?
of it.
Yeah.
She jumped out in front of it, said it was worse than Rodney King.
One thing I will give her credit for, she did not wait a very long time. Once they saw the whole video, once they was able to interview the people that they interviewed, they fired them immediately, according to what she said. I don't know.
Okay.
But you can verify. She didn't hide behind a lot of the different things. So, and she took accountability as much as she can as of right now.
Right.
But
okay, now
we've had supervisors, we got everybody. Well, you know, what you do a lot of times comes from you.
Right.
And the fact, like as far as these guys here, they're a whole lot different when all of them together. I guarantee you 5 brothers would have been walking down the street and one of those guys would have been coming from a store or something. They would have just said, "Hi, how you doing?" But when you got 5 of them together and you got a simple young man who's doing nothing, non-violent, and you want to sit up here, be it initiation or whatever it is, your actions was way uncalled for and you should be held accountable, and anybody else who's associated with them should be held accountable.
Yeah. And there should be criminal charges as well. You took a life. You took a life. You took, look, if any of us right now speaking did what they did for any reason, okay, even defending our homes, we either be in court or somewhere. Wouldn't just be you fired from your job. You resign.
I think they are getting. I mean, they are getting tried. Is that right?
No, listen, they got
arrested.
They made bail. They made
bail the same day. Man.
All but one.
They went in. Well, he's out now, AC.
How the hell they make bail?
Look, I think they made bail within like 6 hours.
That's a murder charge, brother.
Listen, here's my question, y'all. Here's my question.
Go ahead,
here's
Sean.
my question. What do we do in these communities in that instance, and what do we have to do in order to hold these officers accountable for the things that they do to the people in the community that they're supposed to protect. The hell with the cold blue, the blue, whatever the hell they go by, that hides all of these things, whether they're stealing dope, drug money, beating on people half to death, drugging them up, selling drugs to them, whatever the hell they're doing, that's dirty and nothing related to the law. What is it, and how can we appeal to the authority to hold them accountable?
That's the biggest problem.
One at a time, y'all. One at a time.
It must be federal. They have to have federal regulations where you can go into any and every one of these police departments and sheriff departments and be able to pull the footage and the background of anybody that's involved. A lot of times these videos get lost. A lot of red tape, a lot of different things that happen. Congress had a chance to pass the George Floyd Act, and they didn't do so. So whatever they do, it cannot be statewide. It cannot be city or countywide. It must be federal. You got to put it in the hands of those who are not bound by a community that can be voted in or voted out or asked to sit or resign. Yeah. If you don't do what you're supposed to do in your community, the feds should be able to step in with no problems.
Yeah, I don't know if internal affairs is having any type of shortage due to COVID or whatever the hell is going on. But it sounds like an internal affairs got there.
Yeah.
You can't let police.
Yeah.
Right.
That's like
right.
trying to
I agree.
decide the fate of your
I agree.
You have to have an outside source. There needs even
Right.
internal affairs needs to be outside the police community. They need to be a community organization that's not on the payroll of the police and all of that. It needs to be a separate entity that you
I
can
thought
rely
internal
on.
affairs was federal. I thought internal affairs was federal.
No.
But okay, so here's the thing. It sounds like we need to assemble some groups that go in and police the police, and like an undercover boss type thing. You know what I'm saying?
But the thing about it
is,
they have to be able to be mentally evaluated. You know, they go through the training. They just going through the training to see if they can run, if they're healthy. Well, what about mentally?
Yes.
They need to be mentally evaluated, because when we get these police officers, it's not like that we vote on them. They're presented to us. So when we
they
get
go
that
through psychological
presentation,
testing, Tanya. They go through psychological tests too. But here's the thing: a lot of stuff that happens and a lot of stuff that are on these police officers' files get overlooked and swept under the rug.
Yeah,
and
I mean,
kept behind the carpet because they go through those tests.
That was the prime product with one of the officers that was involved. He had a whole lot of issues working in a correctional facility, and the chief knew about that. But as we in Memphis, we're so short on officers, she took a chance, and this is what happened.
There's another key right there.
She already knew the background. She knew the background of this particular officer.
Yeah.
Before he got fired for being in the correctional system.
Yeah. There's another key right there: shortage of officers. They bring in any. If you are halfway there, you got the minimum requirements. We're gonna bring you on board.
We're gonna bring you on in.
Yeah. How long were these officers actually officers for the Memphis Police Department? All under 10 years, right? If I'm not mistaken,
I would think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say different because they were no more than 29, I think.
Yeah, they were.
They
were young.
We can't hear you, AC. I saw you trying to say something, but you muted out or something. I see your lips moving. That's it. No, there we go. Unmute. There you go. Hold on, Mike. Hold that thought. Hold that thought.
Okay.
What were you trying to say, AC? We can't hear you. We still don't have your sound. Go ahead and work on that, Mike. Go ahead. What were you saying?
I work downtown, right? So on Thursday, I guess everybody knew they were gonna release the video come after 6 o'clock on Friday, right? So the city started making these preparations. They were canceling after school activity, Universal was having online classes. I guess they thought it was really going to be a riot going on. Sean, they even sent us home, told us we were just gonna have a skeleton crew working, which was like 2 people at intake. So on Friday, yeah. So, but it was a real eerie type feeling that day because you didn't know what to expect. They like talked so much about how bad the video was, and you didn't know what people were gonna do. They talking about National Guard was on hold. They brought in extra 50 state troopers, and it was just a weird day.
It was a dreary day.
You waited. Yeah. And I think the video came out about 6:20 or 6:40 or something like that time. Something like that.
15, about 6:15, 6:20.
Yeah.
And that was on Friday. That was on Friday.
Right.
That was Friday.
About 6:40. And it was like anticipation. It was like everybody was holding their breath. People was holding their hearts because we did not know what to expect. I still hadn't seen it. My heart, I can't take it. it. And to be a lover of God's people. And I just couldn't imagine. Because looking at him, I would see my nephew. He's a 19-year-old, very educated young guy that goes to Kentucky State. But when he comes to Memphis, he loves to walk the neighborhood. He loves to walk here. He loves to walk there. And I think about it, could have been him just on a regular day walking to Starbucks to get him a coffee, and they pull him over. So that was another reason that I didn't look at it, because I know I would see his face, and just to be there and know that this man is being beaten to death and we can't do anything about it. We can't save him. We can't help him. We just can pray for the family. And just to see the mom, she's so weary. She's so worn. She's worn out. She can't make sense of it. She said, my boy was almost perfect. He bothered no one. He was to himself. He went to go, he liked skateboarding. She said, I bought him some Jordans. And he said, Ma, I don't want them. I wanted some Vans. Simplicity of a man. You understand what I'm saying? So we don't know how to feel, because he wasn't a drug dealer. He wasn't a nuisance to society. He was a regular young man that likes simple things.
Right.
He didn't bother anybody.
I mean, let me go ahead and politely interrupt. But like James has said, and like Sean had said, what do we do? I mean, the militant Christian, James Johnson, he said, we need somebody to police the police. Sean, he asked the question, and I would love to sit there and get the other answers from the panel. He said, what do we do? Because we can sit down and talk about it. We can go out and march. What type of accountability can we, that can happen and we can possibly put into place? Because people are tired of march. I know me. I got the Malcolm X mentality. I don't have the Martin Luther King Jr. mentality. I mean, not that there's anything wrong with that. I want him. I want him. I want justice, and I'm gonna take justice out my way.
Yeah.
So, Sean, can you speak on that though? You were talking about the accountability. What can we do? I mean, what do you guys think we can do? We could talk about it all day, but what are some of the things that we can do, like right now?
Right now, there's, just so that you know, right now, there is a federal committee that nobody really pays attention to, that's supposed to be like the brother spoke earlier. We have to hold them accountable at the federal level. There's a federal committee that will work with certain people in the public, like us. They don't have to be public officials, like mayors and senators, on public relations. But nobody steps up to do anything about it, except complain when something happens. So one way I know that we can, let's say, hold accountability is to organize either a committee or look into committees that there are available. I know, I looked some up within the federal government, where just like you have committees where the local police is supposed to come interact with the people, but they don't do right. If we can get the federal government to do the same thing, that will hold them accountability to a form of accountability. Excuse me.
Yeah, I guess we need to see what kind of channels that requires to go through to run it.
I can look it up and let you know. I've been looking into it.
Well, I'm just talking about in this discussion right now.
Okay.
To run it up the chain of folks.
What's unfortunate, COVID has changed the mindset of everyone.
Yeah.
And that is very unfortunate. And we're still living scared. You know, it's the point now that COVID has came and it has punked us out to the point that we can't even sneeze in a norm. We can't cough in a norm. We can't have a runny nose in a norm because some of us have allergies year round, sinuses year round, or it's just a common cold to the point that we're just trying to keep our minds sane. You know, sanity is so important to us now because COVID has changed the way that we live life. You
Absolutely.
know, we just glad to be living. You know,
Yep.
So when these things happen, we don't know how to react because our mindset is so different. It's so different because, you know, me having COVID twice, I was like, it took me a minute to understand, say, hey, Tanya, you do have sinuses and allergies all year. So you can sneeze, you can cough, and I need y'all to quit looking at me because I got sinuses. I don't have COVID. So our mindset is so different that we don't even, you know, we see it, we know it's happening, but right now we're just trying to keep our mental together.
Yeah,
You know,
I got you.
even going back to marching, people tired of marching. We marching for what?
No,
Because
that doesn't help.
It's gonna kill us.
Thank
They
you.
still black people. That we
Yeah,
still,
that doesn't help.
and we're the main ones that always say, y'all need to understand Black Lives Matter. But it don't matter to us. We want it to matter to all the races. China, when China got wind of this, their heart was so broken to the point they said they mourning over there for us. The president over at China told that family, if there's anything y'all need, we got you. You know what I'm saying? They're mourning for us. And here it is that we march and we try to fight for equal rights. We want people to give us a chance. We want them to know that our Black lives matter, but we're not doing anything to keep us alive.
Now here's the thing: only we can take care of us, Tanya.
Exactly.
Only we can take care of us. So it doesn't matter what country is mourning for us and wanting to help us and all that. Here's the thing: they are looking and saying, "Listen to me. Listen to me. Let me talk. Let me talk." What we're saying about, and I think what other countries are saying about America, which is supposed to be one of the strongest countries on earth, right?
In the world.
There's so many flaws and so many different things that we do that these countries don't stand for. They have accountability.
Yeah.
Sure, they have some corruption. Sure, they have some things that are going on, but they nip that in the bud like immediately. I don't care if you're stealing. I don't care if you're an adulterer. I don't care if you're a murderer, a rapist. They put those fools in check immediately. And we have too much of a corrupt system. We have too much of a lax system where there needs to be some accountability. There needs to be some committees. There needs to be some people that not on the marching side, and we shall overcome, and we want to pray. We beyond that. It has to be some things that are making a difference, that are making some changes, that are making corrections. And it can't just be that we can't riot either. Let's just be clear about that. We can't tear up our own cities because we good for that. We'll tear up our own neighborhoods.
Yeah, we
can't do none of that. It's way deeper than that.
The day after, we had some rioting that happened the day after. We had some people to go into a Cordova, and that's an area to go into the liquor store just to steal cheap liquor. That had nothing to do with what fucking happened. You just decided you just want to go and just steal. That ain't got nothing to do with it.
That's silly as hell. That's silly as hell. We don't need none of that. It's got to go to a way higher level, and that's what we have to figure out, y'all. This discussion is something that needs to happen amongst multiple groups at multiple levels to push to the senators, the congressmen, I mean, all the way up to the president, obviously, to do some things about this. And let's just be clear, it's some people that don't even care. And they're gonna say that's their problem. That's something that they
Right.
got to worry about.
Exactly.
And it's unfortunate because everybody will do hot potato and push it over there. We're gonna let somebody else deal with that. But we as America need to deal with what's going on, because this is going on in multiple cities. It's not always being reported. It's amazing that this got to the front page news and now it's all across America. But like Kevin Hart is saying on his comedy skit, my family didn't make us look good as a unit. We don't look good as a people right now. You know, those 5 officers that look like us are making us look bad, because
Mhm.
anything that they can take and shine media wise on the stuff that we do bad, you can have 12 attaboys and 1 or 2 bad things that you do, and guess what's going to be highlighted? It's going to be the nonsense, you know, and it's going to be spread at a massive rate that we can't even handle. And that's what people will remember. They won't remember none of the good that you did. It's going to be all the bad. And so we need to really figure out how this is all going to happen. I mean, this is a great discussion. I think it's going to be a lot of continued information, but we got to talk about it and figure out an answer. Philly, come on, chime in. What you got to say?
I mean, this is my thing though. Yeah, we could talk about it all day. We can bring the Al Sharptons down. We can do this. We can do that. You know, we can, like you say, protest. We can go out there. Hey, we're gonna go down into City Hall. We're gonna do whatever. Understood. I mean, I looked at it on like, you know, Mike and Tanya said it came out. The video came out on Friday. They said, hey, when we get the video, we're gonna put it out there. They put it out there. I seen it on Saturday at work. It came through my Google feed. It hurt my heart. It hurt my heart. Now I'm trying to figure out, did it hurt my heart because it was the 5 black officers that beat this young man and killed him? Because I'm trying to find out. I don't know everything. I'm thinking,
Yeah.
you know, y'all from Memphis know a little more than probably than I know. And I'm reading, you know, on it daily. Sean and I talked about it last week or week before last. So my thing is, why I'm probably asking the question you guys can't give me the answer to, but why was I so hurt? Was it because the officers were 5 black officers and they killed this young black man who done nothing wrong according to what everybody's saying? Yes, they try. I mean, apparently these guys are gonna get tried for murder, and I heard it's gonna be 2nd-degree murder, not 1st-degree murder. And I was talking to a gentleman, and he was telling me why it's 2nd-degree and not 1st-degree. And we can go into that a little later. But man, so they'll get, I don't know, they'll get 15, 20 years, 10 years, 8 years good behavior. Is that enough?
No, it's not enough.
Let me hear what you guys got to say. Is that enough?
Let me tell you why I think you may have been hurt.
Yes, go ahead,
I'm
Mike.
sorry. I think you may have been hurt not only because it was 5 brothers, because we see that all the time, but
Yep.
We don't see that.
All right, hold on,
We
y'all.
don't-
Hold on, y'all. Hold on.
What
I don't need us stepping over each other. One person at a time. Mike is speaking.
what I mean by brothers, I mean people not necessarily in uniform, just fighting all the time, but people that had a responsibility to protect and serve, but no one stepped in and said, hey, that's enough. What are you doing? And then not only that, and like you said, you can associate a young man with somebody in your family. It could have easily been, you could have said it could have been me. It could have been your nephew, your son, you know what I'm saying, anybody. But I think the hurt part falls in for me is just knowing that it's like they just lost all consciousness. They had no regard for life. You know what I'm saying? It's like they were out there just having a good old time. And it's scary because there's so many videos we don't see that are close to, that's probably even worse, and they don't get the national play. And I'm just tired of everybody having a hashtag. You ought to be tired of the hashtag for this person, hashtag for that person. At some point it becomes like you said, you ought to be tired of the marches. It's like we just do it to be doing it because we should do it. But you should be like, I'm tired of walking. You know, we need to just do something a whole lot, you know. Like he said, we can't have the police policing the police. There has to be an outside person,
source,
outside entity doing that. Yeah, most definitely. But most definitely. But that's
AC
all I
had
got.
a question for you, Mike.
Yeah,
AC had a question for you.
I think
He
he
said, Mike, did you receive protection on your way home? And I'm not exactly sure what he meant by that. I was trying to get him to elaborate.
No, he may be trying to say when we left work early, or I guess, is that what he's saying? Or something like that.
Possibly, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
That was just a question that he posed.
Yeah. That's probably what he talked about. But no, no protection, nothing like that. Yeah. You know, but man, it was just a thing. They like, you know, everybody just go home early. You know what I'm saying? And I don't, you know, where the protesting happened downtown. I'm far out in the county. So it's like 30 miles away from me. But like I said, it was a hurtful feeling just to, you know, for me, it made me look like just some guys on the playground, just going at it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Just guys on the playground just fighting. You know, you didn't
like
see
a
the
gang
uniform.
initiation.
Yeah,
Look like a gang initiation.
Yeah, something you see on Law and Order or something like that, man. You know, it was just crazy. It was just crazy. And then
it looked like something we'd have seen in the hood. It looked like something that we saw in the hood. Why everybody can't relate.
That's what I mean on the playground. That's why I say on the playground. You know, basketball court, just walking around in the park. You in the wrong street, my brother. You're on the wrong street. Something like that. That's how, man.
Tanya, come on. I see your hand up. I see your hand up. Thank you, Mike. Thank you.
And I'm gonna let you know and express how it has affected a lot of people. My husband is in uniform. He's a behavior specialist for TSA. He said, and we have a 3-year-old daughter. So on Thursday, he picks her up every Thursday and takes her to get a Happy Meal from my mom's house. And he was like, he was stopped by a guy on the street talking about, are you the law? Are you the law? So that's what y'all police officers doing. And he was like, I'm not a police officer. He said, I work for TSA. I'm a behavior specialist. He said, it's not that he feared for his life, but he had to be extra protective of himself, that he went home to take his uniform off. You understand what I'm saying? He went home to take his uniform off because anybody that's in a uniform, there's somebody that ain't got radical thought process. They think they the law. So now they feel like they want to take the law. Well, you know, I'm gonna shoot you because you killed somebody. So now everybody that's in uniform, they have to watch it. They have to watch their back now. My husband ain't never taken his uniform off. Now, you know, hey, let me come home and take my uniform off because I don't want to be in the midst with our 3-year-old daughter and something happens.
Yeah. Thank you for that too. It's crazy.
Yeah. So now when they go to trial, they're not gonna get good judges, no jurors, because the world has seen it. The world has seen it. So you can't put them in, when they go to jail, you can't put them in population. And I believe in my whole heart.
Why not? Why can't they go in regular population? That's what they need to go.
They've already said that.
What happened with all?
They're not gonna put them in population. They won't put them.
Because they know they ain't gonna last 2 seconds.
That's why they go there. That's why you put them there. You put them there and let
swift justice, baby.
Criminals handle them.
They already said that they can't put them in population.
That's some bullshit.
Militant Christian, come on in, and we're gonna wrap this thing up, y'all, because I know we way over. I mean, this is a wonderful topic. Come on in. We're gonna wrap.
Okay, if we over, you know, I think we all spoke pretty good. You know, I can stop. I mean, if you wanna. I
got a question for you. I got a question for you too, James. Before we end it, so go ahead and say what you got to say.
Real quickly. It's time we hold these people accountable. Period. I'm talking about us, we the Black people. We must stay unified. Correct. And we must be justified. I am not going to continue to ask them to do nothing for me and mine. Me and mine have a right to exist and walk around in this life like everybody else. I don't, someone said it earlier, no, we don't want to be confrontational. We don't want to go to war. But you know how sometimes you keep getting knocked down and get knocked down. And then one time when you get knocked down, you're not that same person to get up. Yeah. My point is, instead of looking for leaders, we have to go ahead on and stand up and hold everyone accountable. If we hold our kids accountable on how they act, how they respect the police, how to care themselves not to get killed, then we need to find a way to hold the police, I don't care what color they are, accountable for doing killing and killing our kids. It has to work both ways, or it shouldn't be called the law.
Yeah, but no one wants to put, they talk about it, but a lot of people don't want to push that button.
Exactly. Take off. Let me end it like this, Sean. Take off in God we trust, and you are law enforcement equal unto the public. Take that off, and we good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Crosby, were you able to get your sound together? I'm not sure if you're back in the mix. There you go. We can hear you. We can hear you. Amen.
You. I'm sorry, but before we end, I didn't get a chance to hear Mike's response.
He didn't know exactly what you meant by did you receive protection on your way home?
Well, I know, like you
elaborate.
Said, they went down to a skeleton crew, which means they left a few people there. Were those people allowed some type of escort on the way home, so just in case there was something going on, they wouldn't be in the middle or accosted?
No. See, they still got off at 4:30. They weren't releasing the video until after 6. So that gave them an hour. You know, I wasn't. Of course, I don't ever work. I'm always working from home on Friday anyway. You know. Yeah. So I don't look. Hey, I don't go in the office but Tuesday and Wednesday.
Lucky you. Lucky you.
You know how it is, man. You know how it is.
Yeah, yeah. The perks. I swear.
No, that's right.
You got one of them jobs.
Yeah, but
wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, you had a question?
Yeah, my thing is this. You know, you a man of the cloth, James. You know, what do we do? You know, we pray. You know, I don't know if everybody's believers of God or whatever. Yeah. You know, but do we pray? Do we forgive these men? You know, it's hard for me to do. It's hard for me to do that. You know, I mean, because justice needs to be served, and you know, you and I talk all the time. But hey, sometimes, man, you want the vengeance yourself. You're not waiting. You know, you're not waiting on the man upstairs. You know, because it's just not right. So we're gonna wait for the jury. We're gonna wait for the trial. We're gonna wait to see what's going to happen. And like I said before, so we're looking at what? You know, we're looking at 8 to 10 years and some type of maximum security for these gentlemen. And are we good with that? You know, I want them strung up downtown Memphis. I want them, and I think everybody should come through and get a piece of them. Yeah, that's me. I'm a different type of guy.
Yeah.
Well, what do we do?
And I think that's our human side of us.
Mm-hmm.
What do we do? Okay, I like that. I like that, Tyre. You're right. So what do we do?
Hold up, Tyre.
James.
Okay.
Yeah, because he was asking that of James, the militant Christian.
To be honest with you, God says vengeance is his. And though we may not understand everything about him or believe everything about him, one thing I believe is that he can do worse to you than I ever could as an individual, one to another. So there's this misunderstanding, and I'll give this spiritually, about turn the other cheek. In layman terms, to turn the other cheek does not mean when they do something wrong unto you like what was done unto this brother. We just bow down and pray for them and forgive them and let them keep doing it. Turn the other cheek means you do not have to continue to accept such foolishness, to engage in such foolishness, and you have a God-given right to stand up for yourself against such foolishness.
Absolutely.
So I mean, if that makes sense to any of you, I have researched it a lot. and turn the other cheek does not mean you turn the other cheek and let them hit you on the other side. That actually means you can stop it if someone's being messy. Let's say you cannot stop them from being messy. You can disassociate yourself from that messiness. You sure can.
Amen.
In a situation like this,
Amen.
that brother said federal. Y'all know we all agree real quickly that federal has to be the only one that can deal with law enforcement. And I believe they are willing to step in. We have to force them. And I don't mean physically force them. We have to force them. But let me stop right here and say this. Please, everyone, listen to me. I mean this from my heart. And if I'm wrong, I will answer to God for it. By everything I love and understand, by no means do we have to, as a people, continue to take this without standing up for ourselves. And yes, that even means defending ourselves.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Amen.
I like that.
Yes, sir. I love it. I
Amen.
love it. We're gonna go ahead and close this thing out, y'all, because it's obvious that this discussion will continue. It can go on forever. Everybody's senses are heightened. It's a lot of pain. It's a lot of frustration. It's a lot of unanswered questions. We think of this young man as somebody that could be a brother, a cousin, a son, somebody close to us, and it hurts. It hurts bad. We need to figure out an answer. We're sick and tired of being sick and tired. We're sick of shedding tears. We're sick of marching. We're sick of praying. Like, you got to keep on praying, right? Because God will provide the answer. But at some point, you got to rise up and protect your own, and we got to figure out a way. If they don't want to figure out a way, we're going to have to figure out our own way. You know what I mean? And that's the worst way to go when you have to flex your own set of justice to make things right, for people to feel better and for people to feel safe. So we don't know the answers. We're trying to figure this out, but this is where the discussion starts. I hope that we can get a part 2 of this going. And I'm looking to get some law enforcement into one of these episodes where they can share the mentality that some of these guys may have and what they think, whether they're retired or whatever the case may be. We need to get somebody that we know that's of the clean nature, one of the good guys, to come in and testify. AC, real quick, 30 seconds and we out, y'all. Unmute your line. That's great. Yeah. Okay.
I agree with you completely, and I do believe that I have a couple of officers, 2 who are of color, because that's who I wanted to go to for their opinion on this here, because everybody bands together when somebody comes together and harms an officer. But what I don't see is all of the other officers coming together when they know that their brothers are bad. Which to say that they're not all bad, but you go onto the carpet. So until the same thing that you guys do to us, I have no love for when something negative happens to one of you. Unfortunately, this is the boat that you put me in with your actions. I'm only reciprocating what you have put out there.
Ooh, on that note, listen, we're gonna cut this. I want you to find those people. We're gonna look for a couple law enforcement officers. I agree with you 350,000% of what you're saying, because that's it. We're tired of it. And it's hard for us to feel when somebody else goes down when we've been suffering through this the whole time. Philly, 20, 30 seconds and we out.
Yeah,
man.
we out. Sean, we said we was going to do it. I want to stay true to it. I want to lighten it up a little bit. I want to thank each and every one of you guys and ladies for coming on. We appreciate it. Sean, we said we were going to do it. I said I was going to do it. I want to stay true to it. We have something called Name That Movie. I'm going to go ahead and put it out, Dub. I'm going to put it out there real quick. If you name the movie, now you guys can't do it because you give it away. If you know the name of the movie, you chime in on the comments. This is not just for you guys, it's for everybody. But this is the movie right here. You got to name that movie. I'm putting Sean on blast too, so Sean may not know it as well. But this is our first segment of Name That Movie. And this is the line that was stated in the movie. No man should have that much power.
Wow.
Name that movie.
Malcolm.
Malcolm X.
AC, I don't say nothing, AC.
You done just
Don't
broke
say,
the damn
don't say nothing,
rules.
Mike. Don't say nothing. Nobody say nothing. We
Said
putting
put
out
it in
there.
the chat. We
Put
want
it in
the
our
viewers
viewers.
to be able to
So,
guess as well.
Yes. When you
It's
see this
always that
posted
one
up,
student that
That's
shout
right.
out the answer.
I'm gonna say it one more
Yeah.
time. So all you guys, I hope you listen to the whole podcast, but one man should not have that much power. Name the movie. With that, Dub, you can go ahead and end it out, sir.
All right, listen, we appreciate you guys for taking time to chime in. It's always that one that's gonna throw it out there and shoot the whole wad. But hopefully somebody was listening and paying attention. Hopefully somebody was not paying attention to what the hell was being said, and then they come in and answer wrong or right. We'll see. But we're gonna keep this segment going, y'all. We want to keep it light. When we do get on serious topics like this, we're all about having fun. We're gonna start a segment as of today called Name That Movie, and we're gonna test some of y'all acting skills out there. We're gonna test your movie trivia skills. It's Millionaire, Mr. Millionaire Mindset.
And it's Philly, your boy Philly. What did they get? Did they get a mug? Did they get a mug, Mr. Shaw? What did they get, Mr. Millionaire Mindset?
We're gonna have some prizes and surprises. We're
right,
looking
you
at
guys
a
get
Star Candy
for the right
mug.
answer.
Yeah, we're gonna work that out. We'll figure that out. But
Sounds good.
let's go ahead and wrap this up, y'all, because we've been on here for a while.
I want to win a trip to Jamaica or a job like my man over there, so I can work on Tuesdays and Wednesdays.
And people in Alaska want to live in the Bahamas.
Can I win that? Can I win?
We out of here.
Listen,
like Big Mike.
We out.
So sign off, Mr. Slaughter. I'm out of here.
I'm out of here from y'all rowdy,
appreciate you
unruly
guys.
individuals.
Thank you, Tanya. Thank you, AC. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, James. We appreciate you. We love you guys. Ain't nothing you can do about it.
But love
us back.
Yeah.
God bless you. God bless you all. Praying for you all.
All
right. You too. Bye.
Good to see you.